Firstly, David, what's your final takeaways from a really impressive and resolute away performance at Hillsborough?
Yeah, I thought after the game, I said we didn't play particularly well. Actually, when you watch the game back, yesterday morning watched the game. Certainly against the ball, we were really good. They didn't even get into our final third that much. Never mind have a shot at goal. So you've got to value that. That's for sure. And we're limited to a team, like I said, that knocked out Leeds and Bolton in the previous 2 rounds to very little final third entries. Never mind attempts at goal. So from that point of view, it was an outstanding performance, and one that on the night that was probably a bit harsh on the lads, and I said that to them this morning. So that was really pleasing. We could have done a bit more with the ball, which is what I did think after the game. But look, I think probably 1-0, maybe 2 at a stretch. We should have had a penalty on reflection. But I think 1-0 was actually the right score for the game. They certainly didn't deserve to score a goal, and we did score a goal, and we deservedly scored a goal. So it was probably just about the right result, actually.
And you shuffled your pack slightly, 2 changes coming into your starting lineup, one of which got the assist in Rhys Staunton. What did you make of your 2 changes?
Yeah, look, we certainly haven't got an 11. We've got a squad, and we're trying to make everyone understand what we do and what we don't do. And obviously, Rhys has been here since day 1 this season, and he's got unbelievably good delivery and really good potential. And he's coming on great. When he first came, he'd been in hospital for 10 days before he actually come to pre-season because he was that ill. So he was sort of behind going through pre-season a lot of the way, but we've nursed him through, and now he's hitting his straps. He's a terrific player. So look, we've got 2 really good left backs this year, and we've got to use them as we see fit. And who's in form and who's not in form, that's not been the case so far because they're both in decent form. And who we think will expose the opposition the best. So it's a real good problem to have.
And we signed Rhys, and he came with a sort of formula that we've had previously in that position. We'd speak a bit more about his deliveries and I mean how good he can be offensively.
Yeah, look, he's got a couple of assists already. He whipped in an unbelievable ball for Greeny against Cambridge, and he just put it past the post. So we know he's got quality. So has Jaden. Jaden's got unbelievable quality in different aspects. His delivery might not be just as good as Rhys's, but he's really bright in other areas, that's for sure, and he creates opportunities by doing other stuff that Rhys doesn't do as well. So we've got 2 different ones, not too dissimilar, but they've both picked up really well exactly what we've been asking of them in their way, if you like, because we're not totally prescriptive. We say, look, we would like this to happen, and we would like this to happen, and we're going to practice these things, and one might do it slightly different to the other, but they both bring their own game, and that's really pleasing. That's what we want. And it's good to have competition in one area of the pitch. And
I'm sure it was a day off yesterday, but back into training today. How have the boys been?
Yeah, look, they're fine. Always 1 or 2 knocks after a game, without a shadow of a doubt. Like I say, we're getting to the point where we're going to get 1 or 2 back in the next 2 weeks, which will help. And we're hopeful that we won't have any knocks in the meantime, if you like, or any more injuries. So, yeah, I think winning always helps. It's one of the best medicines. So, yeah, we'll see how they are in the morning, and then we'll go from there, ready for Barnet on Saturday.
A trip to the capital, like you say, to face Barnet. Frustrated last time out in the league. Personally, I'm sure you're hoping that we can get back to winning ways in the league and put in a good performance.
Yeah, I thought, Cambridge were a decent team. We didn't quite work out how to hurt them as much as we should have done. Like I say, we used Tuesday night to try and put 1 or 2 things into the lads, and I thought they picked it up really well at times. It'd be a tough test. Any team that comes up from the National League are a good team. There's no, the top 6, 8 teams in the National League now are good teams, and we'll be able to hold their own, in League Two. That's for sure. and Barnet are definitely no exception to that. They'll definitely be in the top half. I don't know where. They might be in the playoffs. I've no idea, but they're not. They won't be near the bottom, that's for sure. From what we've seen of them, yes, they're sort of changing ever so slightly from total football to a bit more direct. But when they can do both, and they can do it both, and they can do both well, that makes them a dangerous team. So we know it'll be a tough game. They all are, especially away from home. But it's one that we're looking forward to because we think we're a good team as well.
And not only did they come up from the National League, they did it in emphatic fashion. So what do you rate them as a squad as a whole? And I'm sure there's multiple threats in their side, aren't there?
Yeah, they've definitely got multiple threats. They're a good team, like not just a League Two team or an average League Two team. They're a good team. They're a good team in this league. They've obviously beat a good Crewe team last week, and they've got some good players, like lots of good players. Certainly across the front positions, they've got 3 very good defenders. So, we know we'll have our hands full, but then that's the challenge. The last time we played in midweek, we've got an extra day's rest before going into it. There's not as much emotion expended as the Manchester United game on Tuesday night. They're just facts, really. They're not just opinion. They're the facts. I asked the players, and they all said the same thing this morning. So the challenge is to make sure we produce a better first half of football than we did against Bristol Rovers. The second half was fine, and we deserved to win the game actually. But the challenge is to make sure we perform well on Saturday ourselves, regardless of the team that Barnet put out.
And Barnet yet to win a game at home this season. Do you think that will play into the mentality of their players at all, or not really?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them that. I've no idea. I've never stepped foot inside Barnet's training ground, and I don't know their players well enough to answer that question. It's not for me to answer.
A trip to London normally spells a great away following as well. We've got thousands of exiles in the capital. I'm sure based on how we are away. I mean, we say it every week, don't we? But I'm sure expecting a packed out away end that's going to push the boys over the line.
Yeah, I said after the game on Tuesday night that the away end at Hillsborough was magnificent and helped us. And I'm sure, when we went to Wimbledon last year, we could hear the fans coming into the ground. We were outside the ground, we were warming up, we could hear them coming into the ground. And I'm sure Saturday at Barnet it's going to be no exception. They don't half help. I think they can see a team that's trying to make the football club proud, the fans proud of what we're trying to do. But they've got a big part to play themselves. And the away followings last year, the away followings we've had so far this year have helped us, without a shadow of a doubt, whether it's Accrington or Harrogate or Tuesday night at Hillsborough. They help us, and we've all got us part to play. And I'm hoping we can have as good a night or good a day, a good result on Saturday as we did on Tuesday night.
Fantastic, thank you, David.